To be honest with you, I don't even know if Tatum's a top 5 player.
Oh no, definitely not. A video game.
We're hoping to get a future All-Star.
Come on, get back.
He's not. What is going on, YouTube? Back for another episode of After the Whistle. Myself and Michael Finley, the guy who took
Mavericks legend.
Luka's beer. It feels like it's been a while. We had an episode, but it wasn't good. It was tragic. I couldn't put that out to the public and have our reputation tarnished. So make sure you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe. We did hit 200 subscribers, so thank you guys. Really appreciate it. I think we're at like 206 right now. So do you think we can hit 300 by the end of the month?
Probably, yeah.
So if you guys can get us to 300 subscribers by the end of the month, that'd be great. I'm thinking about not donating, not auctioning, giving away something signed, but I don't know what yet. So just let me figure that out, and I got you guys.
I'm the one who told him to do that. I don't know why he's trying to act like it's not like it's just his idea.
He didn't tell me to do that.
I did definitely tell him to do that.
He did.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for all your love and support, and we're back with bumping out more content because we were gone for like 2 weeks. So yeah, if you guys don't know, Mavericks Celtics in the finals. Game starts on the 6th, which is Thursday. So game 1 is Thursday in Boston. And I think this is going to be an interesting series. Who do you got?
Mavericks in 6.
We both had Mavericks in 6 in the series. I think I think Mavericks will win because I trust Luka and I trust Kyrie in the clutch and in this spot more than I trust Tatum and Brown.
No doubt.
As I stated before in a couple episodes, well, this is probably like a couple months ago, maybe, I said Jason Tatum was not elite, and he still has not shown me that he is elite. To be honest with you, I don't even know if Tatum's a top 5 player.
Oh no, definitely not.
Bro, I just said it like definitely not.
No,
I mean, even though
there's no argument for it. I don't care. There's no
technically he was all NBA, so that technically has to make him top 5.
No, because injuries.
But I was about to say it. But we know if Joel Embiid was healthy for the 65 game quota, he would have definitely made it. And I think Tatum would have gotten bumped off, either Tatum or Giannis, but I would go Tatum more. He said, "Oh yeah, no, definitely not." He said, "There's no argument."
Okay, Luka, Joker, Giannis, Embiid. No way. Tatum doesn't touch them. Tatum not even close. No.
So yeah, I said this before. I don't think Tatum's elite, and I don't think he's a top 5 player. Tatum has not shown. He's not shown to want to take that next step into that elite or superstardom category. It doesn't seem like he just hasn't taken that leap yet. There is a bunch of areas concern for me with this Celtics team. Would you say that this is the easiest road to the finals?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, I don't know every single finals road in history, but in recent memory, yes.
I'd also agree with that statement. I think, I can't really think of one that was. I mean, at the end of the day, people are going to argue you play who you play, which is true. You do play who you play at the end of the day. You can't really control that. But the Celtics really didn't play anybody, and my camera is like terrible right now. But
yeah, Celtics played like literally like 8th graders. That's basically what has happened.
I said 8th graders.
They're like a varsity high school team. They just played the 8th grade team.
I said 8th graders. They weren't all that bad. No, they definitely were that bad. Those teams that they played definitely were that bad. Like, not good. at all. Like,
Miami Heat without Butler. Oh yeah, that's poop.
no, it definitely is. For reasons like, plus with the Celtics, like they were down 18 to the Pacers, and they didn't even have Tyrese. Like, that's not good. Like, if you think that's good, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's not. It's horrible. Like, it's like, why
Bro,
are you?
just look at the pathway of the Celtics, and then just look at the pathway of the Pacers. Like that bottom of the bracket was so
Oh, I'm
so
gonna get my
difficult.
charger.
It was Bucks, Pacers, Knicks, 76ers. They were going through war out there. It was anyone's game. Celtics, their path, bro. It was just write them in the conference finals already.
No, literally. You're not even lying.
Freaking all the teams they play were injured, missing their best player. They're basically out there playing Washington Wizard every single freaking round. They basically just played Pistons, then the Wizards, and then the Hornets.
No lies detected. I totally agree. I think their level of competition definitely speaks to the team they are. I think the Celtics a lot of times they play down to the level of their competition. I think they underestimate who they're playing a lot of the times, and they find themselves in situations that they really shouldn't be. There's no reason you should be down, especially as a superior team. The Celtics, by metrics and stats, this is proven to be one of the greatest teams of all time. If you look at stats, this is one of the greatest teams of all time. But they don't play like it. The 2017 Warriors, the stats show that they were one of the greatest teams of all time, and then the play also showed that they were one of the greatest teams of all time.
Yeah.
Like, they dominated from start to finish. You knew who was going to win. There was no questions about that team. There are questions we have about the Celtics. And people be like, oh, Jason Tatum, he's a dog. What are you talking about? He would have a trash first half. Then the Celtics will be blowing out the team by like 15, 20 points. Jason Tatum gets some like garbage buckets. And everybody looks at the box score and like, man, Jason Tatum had a really good game. No, he didn't.
Literally.
No, he didn't. Like, it goes like that every time. Like that thing you post in your story. That's literally so true. It's a revolving door. It's a cycle. He does not play good. So I'm intrigued to see how they're going to play in this finals against a opponent that's right there on their level. The only really concern I have with this Mavericks is how is Daniel Gafford. First of all, shouts out to Daniel Gafford, man. Shouts out to Daniel Gafford. Bro, hold on, bro. Shouts out to Daniel Gafford. This man looked at my story. I'm getting a Daniel Gafford jersey. Shouts out. The rent is due. The landlord. I love you, Daniel Gafford. Bulls legend. I just had to throw it out there.
Wizards legend.
No. 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 The only thing I'm concerned with the Mavericks is how Lively and Gafford are going to match up with Porzingis, because Porzingis does stretch.
I think Lively would do a great job on Porzingis.
Well, that's the thing, because Lively and Gafford are rim protectors, and Porzingis, the Celtics run a 5-out offense. So with Porzingis being stretched out at the 3-point line, that is also going to stretch out Lively and Gafford. So that's my only concern of how the Mavericks are going to then play that, because usually how the Mavericks defense works is they funnel, like in the Western Conference Finals, they made it to where like Anthony Edwards had to they funneled Anthony Edwards down into them, and then they would just block the shot or whatever the case may be. So I want to see how this works, because Kristaps plays a 5 and Kristaps can also shoot. So I'm interested to see how this works, but it doesn't matter. Jaylen Brown, Chris Brown, Bobby Brown, Mavericks in 6.
Yeah, Mavericks in 6.
What else do we have? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. JJ Redick is going to be hired to the Lakers.
Is that confirmed?
It's like I think it's basically confirmed at this point. Basically confirmed. Is that a W or is that an L move?
I don't know. I don't know if he'll be like a great coach or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know either.
He's just kind of coming off the streets to be an NBA coach, you know.
The last coach that did that was Steve Nash, and he's no longer a coach.
Yeah.
So, anything else? Because there really hasn't been anything going on in the last couple of days.
Wolves haven't made the playoffs in 2 seasons in a row.
You said who?
The Bulls.
Come on, man. Why? Why? Question is, why do you have to do this to me, man? Like, why?
I mean, hey, they got 3 All-Stars on our team, you know?
Who?
Bulls.
Talking about Vooch.
Vooch. DeRozan.
Vooch hasn't been, first of all, I was about to actually, it was more or less asking you than a game. So I was going to ask you, have these trades aged well? How well have these trades aged?
Okay.
Good or bad?
Let's get into that.
So the first trade I had thought about was the Donovan Mitchell to the Cavs trade. Did that trade age poorly or did it age good?
I would say,
because with that trade, remind you, I think they got 3 first round. The Jazz ended up getting 3 or 4 first round picks, Laurie Marketing, and in return, the Cavs got Donovan Mitchell.
I don't know if it was 4.
Maybe it was 3.
Let me look this up real quick.
I'm looking up on my other laptop. Because, let me see. Donovan Mitchell trade to Cavs. So,
okay, so it was 3 unprotected first round picks and 2 pick swaps.
Yep.
Ooh.
So was this? When I edit this video, I'm going to try and put the trade up on the screen because last time, no. How well did this trade age?
I'm going to say it has not aged well.
Really?
Because you gave it Laurie Marketing to turn into an all-star.
Yes.
You gave up 3 unprotected first-round picks. That's crazy. That's a lot. And then 2 pick swaps. Like, that's 5 first-round picks you're really giving up right there. Like, 5 untradeable first-round picks. So you make it so you can't even upgrade your team at all with picks, really, because you're tapped out, you know? And your team was still young, really young, and still progressing. And they kind of got a star just thrown in there that was like, hey, win now.
They did. They did accelerate the rebuilding process.
Yes, like you just had LeBron just a couple years ago, dog.
Well, because the year, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm gonna let you go because I think the year prior to that they made the play-in tournament and they played Brooklyn, right? Yes, they did. They played Brooklyn.
Yeah,
they lost in the play-in, and that's how Brooklyn ended up with the 8 seed.
Yes, but the only reason they ended up in the play-in was because of injuries. Their whole team got like injured, but they were like a 4th or 3rd seed throughout that whole year. Yeah. Until the end. After All-Star break, they all got hurt. But, yeah, they kind of just thrown it in. Now you're in a position where you can't really improve your team. And now those young guys that you had, you're like, I'm just going to trade them, get rid of them. So it's really, it's kind of like what happened with Brooklyn Nets. So, like, you added on this star with all these young guys that built what you were liking, and now what you were liking, you're just gonna get rid of to keep the star. You know, it's like, nah, it was not worth it. No.
So it aged poorly for the Cavs and not the Jazz. Like
Yes, it aged poorly for the Cavs. Jazz, they got a steal. They got a real good deal there.
So I think for the Cavs, I think this trade was even-ish. I think the Jazz won it more than the Cavs. Now, giving back hindsight's always 2020. So we definitely gotta, you know, put that into a factor. I think for the Cavs, trading Laurie at the time, we did not know Laurie could become
I
a
did.
well, at the time he wasn't looking like it. I remember when he was on the Bulls, um, he was really good, but he wasn't developing into that next level star that we see
No,
now.
no, 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 no,
All-star.
no. Let me explain what happened with the Bulls there. Y'all had a really good player. He showed flashes. Whenever it was like garbage time, he was out there cooking.
Yeah,
Because
garbage
that
time.
was look. Because
Garbage
that was when the coaches and players didn't care no more. Y'all are the Bulls, y'all suck, so it's whatever. But y'all's whole scheme was literally playing the opposite way of him. And y'all were just out there sucking, right? So then they're like, oh, why is this guy not doing good? Because you're not letting him do good. That's what it was. And that's what everyone would say about the Bulls back then. And then he gets traded to the Cavs, right? Or signed or whatever. I don't even remember what it was at this
traded.
point. Was he traded for Dwayne Wade?
No,
No. He wasn't. No.
because D Wade went to the Bulls first and then the Cavs.
Yeah. I remember now.
But we
Yeah.
traded him for
I don't even remember.
I don't even remember either.
Look that up.
I
But
am.
yeah, so then he goes to the Cavs, and on the Cavs, he was looking good. He was moved to a small forward. And he was out there actually cooking. That's why people was like saw him like he got his stock back up. And that's why the Jazz even traded for him. They saw how good he was on the Cavs. But the Cavs already had too many like people at the time. So it was like it made sense why he wasn't able to get a whole bunch of minutes. And then he got traded.
So Laurie Markkinen was sent to Cleveland as part of a 3-team trade. The Bulls, we received Derrick Jones Jr. and a 2022 first round pick, which
From who?
I'm trying to think who we drafted in 2022. Was that Patrick Williams? That may have been Patrick Williams. Let me look up 2022 NBA draft. So, and then the other team was another 2023 second round pick. And from Portland. So we also sent a pick to Portland as well. So in that draft, we took Dalen Terry, who just hasn't really planned out, but he also doesn't get a lot of playing time either. I think for the Cavs, I think it was like I said. I think the Jazz won the trade more. I think for the Cavs, you're like, okay. You look at it that way. Your team is about to take the next step. Why don't we pair at the time would you say Donovan Mitchell at the time was a top 10 player?
No.
So 15.
Yeah, top 15 for
top
sure.
10.
Yeah.
So you get Donovan Mitchell, a guy who has led a team to the playoffs, made playoff runs, has proven to make big playoff games. You trade for him, you get rid of a Larry Markkinen who, like you said, showed flashes, but didn't know he could become into this all-star level player. Some people knew, but you're like, look, the window could be the window could open even more because, like, I guess for the Cavs, you're banking on, okay, who can we get with further? Lauri Markkinen, who still has to show us some more, who still has to prove himself, or an already proven 3-level scorer in Donovan Mitchell.
Also, leading his team to the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell wasn't even the best player on his team.
You can say Rudy.
It was Rudy Gobert, defensive player of the year.
People are gonna hate you for that.
I know they will.
I made a whole video about how, or when you were gone, I made a whole video about like how Rudy Gobert, how y'all say he's so overrated to the point where now he's underrated, which is a whole nother topic of discussion. So
But look. So just look at if you were the Cavs and you just waited a little longer, you could have had Kevin Durant with that package. Think about it that way.
I guess
You
so.
could have you could have had you could have had like you could have had Pascal Siakam and you could have got OG Anunoby. Think about it that way.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, like I
Like
said,
you
hindsight's
could
always
have
20.
had you could have traded for like someone else if you just waited a little longer. And even so, even if you didn't wait like a little longer, you could have like easily just signed somebody, you know?
Right. So another Jazz trade that they did. How well did it age? The Rudy Gobert to the Timberwolves, and the Jazz got 4 first-round picks. What was it? Patrick Beverly. One of those picks ended up turning into Walker Kessler
Walker
and
Kessler.
Malik Beasley. And what was Jarrett Vanderbilt as well.
I think that also was a great trade.
Both ways.
Both ways, yes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that the trade, obviously, the Timberwolves. Everybody had thought, man, this trade was terrible. This trade was awful. Why would you trade for another big man that can't do anything on offense and blah blah blah? All this. They just made the Western Conference Finals. Yes, they lost in 5. Yes, they got blown out by like 20, almost 30 points. But you just made you made it another step closer to, because I mean the Timberwolves haven't been this successful since Kevin Garnett. So I think it's one. It's put you guys back on the map. You are now. Would you consider them contenders?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're in the thick of things. You just make little tweaks. You now know. Okay, we got a bit of playoff experience, a taste of the playoffs. I think this trade has aged well for both teams. The Jazz are still in the rebuilding phase. They got a boatload of picks. They got Walker Kessler. They still have Laurie Markkinen. They don't have any of those older assets they have, but you still got all those draft picks. And for the Timberwolves, the future does look a little bit brighter, and now your window is more open than when it previously was. So now you could go into next year knowing, hey, we made the Western Conference Finals. Now we need to make the NBA Finals, especially off of last year, because not everybody was healthy, and it really looked like this trade was sinking. So I think this trade has aged well for both teams. Another trade that actually I think we talked about this trade before. Anyway, the Paul George to the Clippers for, what was it, 5 first-round picks in SGA.
Did not age well at all. Terrible trade. Dookie trade. Insanely bad trade.
I think, yes, now it looks bad. It looks bad because SGA is now an MVP contender, or MVP caliber player for the next few couple years now, and he's not even in his prime yet. I think if I was back then, I would still do the trade, because you had to do the trade. You had to get Kawhi Leonard. I mean, Kawhi Leonard was coming off of his best season, where he led the Raptors to their only chip, had a phenomenal 2-way season, won Finals MVP, and had a phenomenal run. So now you get Kawhi that says, I want to come to your team, but only if you go get this guy. Paul George at the time was what? He was in the MVP race. Would you say Paul George was a top 5 player?
No, he still wasn't top 5 player in the league,
But
probably.
he was definitely top 10.
Yeah.
So you You pair Kawhi Leonard up, coming off his best season where he just won the finals and finals MVP, pair him with a top 10 player in the league, all NBA, two-way level player, with a team that just made the eighth seed, scratching the eighth seed, with Pat Bev, Montrezl Harrell, Lou Will, Zubac. I think they still had Norm. Did they get Norman Powell to come with them, or was that later? I think that was later. I think at the time, the trade made sense. The trade made absolute sense. Now it looks like a boom. It looks like a bust. It just looks like a bust. Because what are you going to do with Paul George now? You're moving into a new arena. You've only made one Western Conference Finals appearance in these 4 or 5 years. I think you can disagree with me, but I think this whole Clippers experiment has been a failure.
Yep.
Stephen A. Smith had said that Kawhi Leonard was...
It's not even that they suck. It's just the fact that they're just injured. It's like,
yeah,
when they play together, their win percentage is crazy.
Correct. You're not even lying there. Because even when they had that first year, when Pat Bev, Paul George, and Kawhi, when they all played together, they were like unbeatable. Like they were beating the Lakers and stuff. Like that team was good. Went into the bubble, blew a 3-1 lead. And it just hasn't really looked up since then. You've had pretty good regular seasons. Like I'm talking about seasons where you're ending up in like the 4 and the 5 seed, and then you get bounced out in the second round because of injuries, or even the first round because of injuries.
Yeah.
So the next trade up, as your Sixers fan, neither of these guys are now on the team, but the James Harden, Ben Simmons trade, how well did that age?
What did we even give up?
So you guys gave up Andre Drummond, Seth Curry, Ben Simmons, and I think a first-round pick for James Harden.
Oh, that was good, yeah. Great trade. We finessed them. We fleeced them. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean,
one first-round pick? That's nothing. Ben Simmons, he don't even play.
He really doesn't play. It's really sad to see him like not playing. Like, it really is sad. It actually kind of makes me sad.
He's still a dog in 2K though.
Is he though?
Yo, people be mad at me online when I picked the Nets and I switched Ben Simmons to that point guard and I put Cam Thomas as that 6-man. Yo, they'll be mad, bro. All I gotta do is back down the person the whole time.
Yeah, you're corny for that.
Then I got freaking Mikal Bridges or Cam Johnson and bro. Both their jumpers are so clean.
Yeah, you're corny for that.
And then when you're in the pick and roll with Nick Claxton, and you just lob it up to him, it's like, and a lot of times he'll miss the dunk, but Ben Simmons just grabs the rebound, and then Ben Simmons will dunk it. Like, yo, Ben Simmons can't even dunk in real life.
Next trade. Now this is interesting. Domantas Sabonis goes to the Kings, and the Pacers got Tyrese Halliburton. I don't think this is a trade that's talked about enough.
I think it's good on both sides.
I think it's also aged well on good sides. It's
crazy how Domantas Sabonis is all NBA, not an all-star.
Makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense.
None at all.
Just yeah. It just makes no sense. Whoever's voting for these things, they need to go ahead and stop. They need to ban whoever's doing these things because they voted Domantas Sabonis for DPOY. Like what's going on? It's just what's going on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Another trade was James Harden and a 2024 second round pick. The Rockets traded away James Harden and a 2024 second round pick, and the Rockets acquired Victor Oladipo. I don't even know who that is. I can't even pronounce his name. Dante Exum, Brooklyn 2022, 2024, and 2026 first round picks. Pick swaps with Brooklyn in 2021, 23, and 25, and a 2027 Milwaukee 2020.
That's a lot of picks.
Yeah, it's a lot of picks. It's a boatload of picks. The Pacers got Karis LeVert. The Cavs acquire Jarrett Allen and Taurean Prince.
Um,
I think this trade has aged very, very poorly,
yeah,
especially for the Nets. It
yeah, that was a terrible trade. Oh my god.
yeah, you mortgaged literally you mortgage your entire future. Um
Like you literally traded like 7 first round picks for Ben Simmons at that point. Like you really think about it.
yeah, yeah, you traded away everything for James Harden and you didn't even get something good in return. Or I mean, well, you did. You got James Harden, but that didn't bring you any step closer to the finals. It just went ahead and up in flames. Um,
Yep.
it just went up in flames,
Yeah.
and I think that F tier trade. Um, so we got like two more. Is that cool?
All right. Yep.
So, how did this trade end up? The Rockets receive Russell Westbrook. The Thunder receive Chris Paul, 2 first round picks, 24 and 26, 2 pick swaps, 21 and 25.
Um, L trade for Rockets. Good trade for the Thunder.
I think so too. Because the Rockets were, first of all, the Rockets that year, they were out there trouting out PJ Tucker at center. Because then they ended up trading Clint Capella.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's happening? Like, PJ Tucker's playing center in the playoffs. It just
Yeah.
I was like, what's happening right now? And
Dude, but it did spring the funniest meme of all time. Of it's 2K and it's literally Westbrook and Harden literally grabbing the ball at the same time, trying to rip it from each other because they're teammates now. I'm gonna pull it up.
bro, someone pull it up. I'm trying to think of what was the another trade. Um, how well has this trade aged? This was very recent, just as to last year, and this does not include the other guy. Um, Kevin Durant. The Suns receive Kevin Durant. The Nets receive Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, and 4 future first round picks 23, 25, 27, and 29, and a 2028 pick swap. The Fadeaway World grades this trade. The Suns, they gave it a B, and they gave the Nets a C. Oh, yeah, I seen that.
Yeah. I agree.
You think the Nets lost this trade?
Yes.
Really?
Because how many first round picks was it?
They got 4 future first round picks, 23. So was it? No, so that was last year. So 23, 25, 27, and 29, and a 2028 pick swap. And they got Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and Jay Crowder. I think this is a good trade for the Nets because now you can trade off Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson and
But
get
they're not
more
going to.
picks.
But the problem with it is they don't have their own draft picks.
That's true, but okay, but for this year, you don't really. This year, your pick doesn't really matter. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. But you could still hold out for the future because you're not gonna. Because I mean, first of all, if you're the Nets, what
But
do you
look,
really?
just imagine if last year, right? Imagine if they just had their first round pick still and they wanted to trade KD. They got rid of him and they got back a bunch of young pieces and even better first round picks. Like
I mean,
they
yeah,
could have
that's
had Victor.
no, you couldn't have got Victor.
Yeah, you could have.
They won too many games.
Yeah, because they got Mikal Bridges and they kept winning.
No, they were already way above. They were way above 30. Way above. They were like above 30 by the time they traded KD. They were like the third seed by the time they traded KD. Mind you, they were on like a double digit game win streak. Like they were rolling.
That's actually crazy how you're the third seed and you trade away your two best
Yeah.
players.
That was I
But
think that was like okay, so I don't know if you see him on TikTok Chilltown.
yeah,
So they were like, "Oh, like when was the time that a superstar got traded in the middle of the season?" I was like, he said something about like Joe Dumars or was it Joe Dumars? No, it was somebody else back in the day, and I was like, KD and Kyrie, like they were rolling. They were like they went on like a double digit game win streak. I remember I was like, oh, the Nets might be a problem. And then we wake up one morning and then Kyrie is traded, and then Kevin Durant gets traded to the Suns, and I'm like, well, what just happened? They got tired of Ben Simmons, man.
see, I feel, I still feel Kevin Durant should have went to the Pacers. That's how I've been feeling. When they said he was gonna get traded, I was like, yo, that'd be crazy. He went to the Pacers. That'd be lit,
That'd be lit, bro.
bro.
Yeah, wait, because no, hold on. Because at that time,
All it would have been because Pacers they're on a winning streak,
no,
but
but they still had Demonis Sabonis.
no,
Oh, are you sure?
this is last year.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yes, this is right. So
This is when they had Halliburton, and he was
okay, yeah, yeah,
cooking.
that's right. Yeah, that's oh, dude, that did happen a year ago.
And I was just like, dude, imagine all they had to do was trade Matherin, and then like they had some bums on the bench that had like 14 million a year for some reason. I forget who it was.
That's just some bums.
I was like, what? Why are they making so much money? So like I was like, all you gotta do Matherin, those guys, and
Come
then
on,
like
Doug McDermott.
first round picks and get KD, and then you just keep your like all you're doing is trading Matherin for KD. Like, yo, you're cooking. That team would be dangerous.
So then your team would have been comprised of KD, Miles Turner, and Tyrese Halliburton.
Yes. And then they had Bruce Brown.
You can't think that they would have gotten Bruce Brown in free agency. They would have had no money because Tyrese just got signed to a supermax.
Oh wait, that's right. They didn't have
Exactly, they didn't have no money.
Wait, when the heck? Who'd they trade Bruce Brown for this year?
They traded Bruce Brown to the
Toronto Raptors.
yeah, and then they got back.
Oh, Pascal.
Yes,
Yeah, that's right. Wait, no. Who's their shooting guard last year then?
it was so Tyrese was at the one. I think Benedict Mathurin was at the two, or was it Andrew Nimhard?
Was Andrew Nimhart that good last year?
Was he that good last year?
Well, because he's a young guy, let me look.
Like he didn't just drop like 30 on the Celtics.
Okay, but he's a young guy. Like,
Okay, yeah, you get told to my friend because I was like, yo, I was like, Celtics let Andrew Nimhard out there looking like Michael Jordan. He was like, but Andrew Nimhard is not bad though. I said, he's not Jesus. Like, he's not
literally.
he was like, bro, but he was like, Andrew Nimhard isn't a bum though. I was like, bro, he's not an all-star level player. He's just
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they had Buddy Hield at small forward, and then yeah, they had
ew. Buddy Hield.
Matherin at the two. Really, yeah. Yo, you know what's crazy?
What?
Pacers just last year had George Hill.
Bro, he still plays.
Like, what?
Why does he still play?
Yeah, and then you have Chris Duarte, you got
Chris.
Isaiah Jackson, TJ McConnell, Andrew Nemhard, Aaron Nesmith, Jaden Noir. I mean Jordan Noir, Jalen Smith, Daniel Tice,
Maryland basketball legend, Jalen Smith.
You got like obviously not high level role players, but you got a bunch of good guys, like none of them are like terrible.
So then you would have had that with Kevin Durant.
With Kevin Durant, yes.
Well, you probably have to trade Andrew Nesmith to somehow, some way to have the contracts line up.
Well, I guess you probably would have traded Daniel Tice because I know he had like $8 million,
So you have to trade him.
and then
Probably trade. You have to trade Aaron Nesmith or
well, the
Benedict
thing
Mathurin.
about the Pacers last year, they had like $30 million in cap, just free. Might have been like 20, not 30. It was like 20 million in cap just free.
That's true. Like I said, but then you would have to sign Tyrese to the extension. And then Miles Turner's coming up on a deal.
Yeah, but that's like later down the line. That's not this. That's not. Yeah.
You would have had a mini Thunder on your hands. Or Tyrese doesn't play anything like Russ, but is Miles Turner better than Serge Ibaka right now? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
So I don't think so either.
But like Miles Turner, he already has a contract right now for the next 2 years, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Shout out to Miles Turner, man. Shout out to Daniel Gafford, your center's favorite center. Is there anything else you had?
No, that's all.
All right, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll pump out more content. Mavericks in 6. If you say the Celtics,
Mavericks.
you're wrong. You're just wrong.
You're wrong.
Like, why do you like this? If you live anywhere else other than Boston, why do you like the Celtics?
Literally. Bandwagon.
Yeah. Have a good night, you guys. Mavs in 6.